welcome. I'm Katie and this is a Fountain Pen Awakening. I hope you are all super well wherever you are in the world. It's a sunny day in Queensland, it's hot and I am home and I've got the next 3 days off, so this is my weekend. And what better way to start my weekend on a Monday, right? And this has arrived. Now, before we proceed with unboxing this, I want to thank you all for subscribing and liking my channel, for comments, for interacting with me, and for making this journey possible. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate you all. All right, so let's get to unboxing. All right, so I just did that off camera. Another little bookmark. This is from the Desk Bandit. The Desk Bandit is a Western Australian fountain pen and ink and stationery. I've discovered them very recently, and the thing I like about them is that they do have different inks. So they stock all kind of the inks that other places that I use don't. So something like Troublemaker inks or the Warringal inks, or they've got all kind of different Japanese inks there as well. They're sort of not your stock standard. And also what I love about the Desk Bandit is they you can pay with Afterpay, which is one of the reasons why I do use the Desk Bandit. I do use Pulp Addiction and I do use Larry Post. Those are my three main ones I use, because they allow me to pay like in 4 installments, which is super good, super handy, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford to buy these pens. And disclaimer, like a couple of videos ago I was having a bit of a whinge about Australian resellers and pen. I mean, we don't only have those 3 that I mentioned, we do have others. We have Pen City down in Melbourne, which are pretty good. They have a lot of bargains. We do have, for instance, Flywheel down in Tassie. They stock, for instance, the Galen Leather products. We do have a couple of more, sort of like the Bookbinder website. They have inks, pens and stationery. And we do also have Hearty Pens, who are the only ones that do sell the Benu pens in Australia. So they have the exclusive, and that's where I got my first pen from. The only problem with them is that for the past 2 years they haven't restocked. So they haven't got anything. Like, they've only got very few pens left, with very few, especially the Benu pens. So I'm not really understanding what's happening with them. So I do apologise if any of those people who do resell pens here in Australia happen to watch that video. It's not that we don't have a variety of them. I just find that these main 3 that I use are the ones that offer Afterpay or alternative method of payment. They have bargains all the time, they have sales all the time, and they have a wide variety also of different inks, and they offer ink samples. A lot of the other ones that I've mentioned do not have the ink samples, and they do not offer alternative method of payments, like four installments or those kind of things. So I just wanted to mention that, just sort of to make it clear that we don't only have like 3 pen resellers here in Australia. Let's get to it. I've talked enough. All right, so let's open this all up. Woohoo! Yay! Just a little Tim Tam. So the Desk Bandit sends you a Tim Tam when you purchase from them. What is a Tim Tam? It's an Australian cookie, and it's very chocolatey and very sweet, and I will have that later on. In this haul, I did get this interesting pen. Now, it's a platinum, and it is the 10th anniversary Plaisir. I'd kind of never heard of these, but then when I researched it a little bit, it's just like the platinum Preppy. It only is like in this aluminium body, and this one was released in 2020, I believe, as a limited edition to celebrate their 10th anniversary. But I thought it looked pretty cool. It's kind of got like a gradient color on it. I've heard a lot of good reviews about the platinum Preppy, so I thought I get that, but it just looks a little bit more stylish. So that's why I got that. I also got a few ink samples. I wanted to try the Warringal inks. one of the girls that I follow on YouTube, it's Leanne Likes, she has tried out a few of these Wearingle inks, and they looked really super interesting, so I thought I'd try them out. The Troublemaker inks I also saw on her channel, and I thought I'd give them a go because she says she really loves these Troublemaker inks, and to be perfectly frank, since I've tried them, I really love them too. My Butterfly Dream Shimmer ink is a Troublemaker ink, so I thought I'd sort of get another one. And remember how I also said that I wasn't going to buy bottled ink anymore? Well, you know, I just had to get myself a bottle of this copper patina, or whatever I want, which is this kind of like turquoise with this gold sheen in it, and it's super nice, and I really enjoyed that in my Skullkill. So that's my little haul for today. And also these are all my uninked pens, waiting for these new inks. 4 or 5 videos ago, I can't remember precisely, I did do a video where I inked all my pens up, and mainly to use them and sample and try out the Lamy Crystal ink range. So now I've written, you know, a lot of those pens out. I flushed them and cleaned them, and put some to rest, in the sense that the ones that I don't use go in a little box, and then I've kept these for use with these new inks here. I just want to open this and see what this dressed up Preppy looks like. Very curious. I've been very curious. I've never had a platinum pen. They are quite expensive, like the higher range or high-end ones down yonder. But interestingly enough, I've been checking out Pulp Pens. Pulp Pens is a UK reseller, and they're having a winter sale on at the moment with interesting discounts. So I have had a few things in my basket on my wish list. If you spend like 200, I think it's 210 or over 210 Australian dollars, they ship for free to Australia, which is awesome. And the thing I really love about Cult Pens, and also Pen Heaven, is that when you go to their website, you can shop in your own currency. So I shop in my Australian dollars. So for instance, if the pen costs 133 Australian dollars, I'm going to pay 133 Australian dollars. And I don't, like, there's no exchange rate. So if I spend $200 because I bought this, and this other, I paid 200 Australian dollars, right? So it's not like when I go to check out, prices change, or I have to, you know, pay more or less, which is fantastic. And also I've discovered with Cult Pens, they've got a Klarna option payment, which is one of them payments where you can pay in 4 installments. So that's very dangerous, my friends. That's very dangerous that I've discovered that, because there's a few pens that are on my wish list that I really want. Oh, okay. So I thought this was an aluminium bottle. It's very lightweight. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. So this is a medium, and it's got a pink feed, and this is kind of like plastic, and then yeah, this is an aluminium body, as we say in Australia, aluminium, not aluminum. And the interesting thing about this pen, it's got like a gradient coloring. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, this click shut. Yeah, that's right, because this yeah, so this cap here, it has, apparently it's the platinum patent slip and seal, and they kind of guarantee that your ink stays nice and fresh for up to a year. So don't know how true that is, but yeah, so it's just a Preppy, but it's got kind of like this aluminium body. Pop that on. Now it's quite a long pen. It's really lightweight. If I take this off, it sits in my hand quite comfortably. The grip section is a little bit slippy. It's a bit wider than usual, and this posts securely on the back. It's a fairly long pen when posted, so I don't think I'll post it. And it's snapshot with that platinum mechanism. So here it just says Platinum Japan. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just, it feels it feels quite sort of lightweight and it feels a bit cheap in my hand, but it looks, I guess, a little bit showier than a normal Preppy. I haven't really been attracted to the Preppies and the you know, the Kokunos and these kind of pens. I find that, I mean, even though they might write well, I just kind of don't like the aesthetic of them, and to me they just look cheap and nasty. And that's not taking away from you know, how good they may be and how good they write, but I'm kind of not really interested in having them in my pen collection. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this Preppy up, or I should say the Platinum Plaisir. Now it does come with a proprietary cartridge. See, I didn't realize this didn't come with an ink converter. I might have to empty this. Well, what I'll do initially, let's do this. I'll just pop its cherry here. And, and then what I can do is I can empty that ink at a later date. Ah, see? It's going in the feed. We'll just give that a few minis. So while we're giving that a few minis, I'll show you the inks that I've got. So I've got the Troublemaker Moon River, which is kind of like a grey violet, which is very interesting. Wanted to check that out. I've got the Rubber Oster Sydney Darling Harbour. I was interested to check that one out. This is the Warringal I Am Cat, and it's a shimmer ink, and it's kind of like a grey with gold particles. And then another one is the Warringal The Song of Reed, which is kind of like a, I think, a creamy beigey look, a bit like Oyster Hour from the Ferris Wheel Press. So I thought I'd give them a go. And then this is the Copper Patina, which I showed in previous videos. I'll do a video and swatch this separately, but I'm just curious to see what this Platinum Plaisir. So on the nib, what does it say? It just says P05. Okay, and apparently these come in 3 colors, so this one and 2 others, and limited edition. They won't be redoing these gradient colors, and then they are also, they only come in medium and fines, and that's why I got it in a medium. So just grab my Rhodia paper for a sec. Platinum, oops, Plaisir, Platinum Plaisir, and this is the 10th anniversary. Limited edition. So apparently this pen was released in 2020 because Platinum was established, I believe, in 2010. So that's kind of why the 10th anniversary limited edition. So I guess there's plenty more of these around, but once they're sold out, they won't be redoing them. And then at the moment it's inked with the cartridge ink, which is black, and this has got a medium nib on it. When I was watching a review on these, the guy was saying that there were some issues with the nibs, black ink, and I was thinking that I might, the ink that I want to put in here is the Moon River, the Troublemaker one, because it's got sort of like a purpley mauvey grey colour, which I reckon will go super well with that. Okay, so there you have it, my new Platinum Plaisir. And the color of this is called Night Pink. Night Pink. So pretty cool color. So I thought what I'd quickly do is I would flush out the ink from the feed, from the cartridge. I've sucked out the black ink from the cartridge, and I've discovered that it's got a little ball in there, which is super cute to keep the ink happening. I've waited a little bit for that to dry, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Troublemaker ink in there, the Moon River, and just do a quick writing sample with you guys. I just thought I'd sort of do it in this vid rather than waiting to do it in my other vid. Kind of, I didn't want to leave it with that black boring ink. And yeah, no, I'm not really a fan of black inks, to be honest. It just reminds me of a normal biro. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with blank ink, it has its purposes, I guess, but when you're using fountain pens and you've got all this deliciousness of different inks to be able to use, why not? All right, so let's give that a moment to go down into the feed. Let me do that again. There might be some air pockets. Here we go, so it's going down into the feed now. That's cool how you can actually see the ink go in there. All right, just gonna give that a second. Turn it upside down. Yeah, so the ink that I've used is the Moon River Troublemaker. Okay, so let's see how this writes. It is platinum, Plaisir. The color of the pen is Night Pink. It's a medium nib. Yeah, the ink's it's a bit light. I don't know if the ink's light or is it because I rinsed out the feed and there's still some water in there. And also I don't know why the ink's having trouble getting down. Maybe that little ball in the cartridge is stopping it. But anyway, what else is it? It's the 10th anniversary. Limited edition. And I've inked it Moon River. Troublemaker ink. Now, to be perfectly honest, guys, it's not anything special. I mean, I'm having a bit of trouble writing with this nib. It also kind of reminds me of a Lamy nib. Very plasticky. I mean, that's very plasticky, and the body feels, you know, quite cheap. I mean, it wasn't cheap. It was like 52 Australian dollars. But because I hadn't tried a Preppy, I was curious to try it out and see. But yeah, it's nothing. I wouldn't recommend this pen, to be honest. At $52, it's really not worth it. But anyway, this is kind of the first time that I've bought a pen that I'm not pleasantly surprised by or, you know, really happy with. The good thing about this pen is I really like the color, and I guess being a limited edition, you know, it's part of my collection, but I don't think that I will be using it much, to be perfectly frank with you. There you have it. Platinum Plaisir 10th anniversary limited edition. It's a Preppy dressed up, but not really worth the money. Alright, well, thank you all for hanging out with me, for watching, and I will get back to you with a vid on some ink swatching. next time. Ciao, Ellie.